Hi everyone, this is Adriel, and this is the episode where Frank and I get into the movie 50 Shades of Grey. And just a warning, there's a lot of spoilers, so if you plan on watching 50 Shades of Grey for some reason, hit pause and come back later. Otherwise, enjoy the episode. Thanks.
Topic. 50 Shades of Grey.
I love how you have a yellow pad and you're writing notes.
It's actually this weird hobby I picked up I
feel like we're in court. What is this?
Oh, I'm gonna record everything.
I feel like we're a stenographer. You're gonna record everything I say?
Yeah.
What's with this microphone then? I don't see the point.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this episode we were just bullshitting and we were saying, hey, we should watch 50 Shades of Grey and talk about it.
Yeah, so I watched it last night.
Did you watch it by yourself with your girlfriend?
No, of course I watched it with Yvette.
Okay, good. I watched it by myself. It was a much different experience.
I bet it was.
Oh, it was so awkward. But when I went up to the ticket lady, saying one ticket for 50 Shades of Grey, she gave me this look when she gave me the ticket like, you're not going to masturbate in there. I'm like, no, I'm not. No.
I'm sure she was like, yeah, we get this every day.
But I felt like even more of a creep when I was in the back of the movie theater. I was watching it with my hood on.
Oh, wait, what?
I was.
Oh, okay.
There were other people in the theater.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought I'd be the only one.
Oh. Did you look? Were they all alone? Or
there was some couples, older ladies, and one guy by himself.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's recording a podcast also.
Oh.
We hung out after and talked about it.
Well, let's see here. I acquired the film through means of which...
You didn't go out and watch it?
No.
Oh my god.
No, I acquired the film.
You have to watch it in theaters. It's through a tour de force.
Well, I have a pretty good TV. I mean, I just set up some speakers here and there. And
damn, why didn't I think of that?
It's not too bad, made some, homemade popcorn and sat down and I was like, all right, let's get down to business. Let's do this.
I think it's better to watch at home in case you get hot and bothered. Bed is right there.
Not with that film.
Yeah, I know.
Did
you know anything about the film before watching it?
Okay, yeah.
Because I didn't know anything besides some other stuff. I didn't read any reviews or any...
Well, here's the deal. The book had been hyped so much, and then upon hearing about the release of the film the first time, I think from that moment I realized there's going to be two different groups of individuals. There's that, talk about 50 Shades of Grey, more like 50 Shades of Whack, but there's going to be the individuals who read the book, and there's going to be the ones who just watched the movie. And if you read the book, I'm assuming...
50 Shades of Whack, so I'm assuming you didn't like the movie.
Well, I didn't...
Was it not your cup of tea, maybe? Did your girl like it?
I'll eventually get to we'll get to discuss the whole the idea of the movie and why I like some parts, why I dislike most of it. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I didn't read the book, so I didn't have any other perspective other than what social media and any other type of...
I didn't read it either.
Blogs. So that's the only type of information I knew about that.
I don't have any authority to speak about the book. I didn't read it. I heard from some people that the book was pretty good. And giving it the benefit of the doubt, when watching the movie, I thought the book was probably a lot better and communicated the ideas that this movie was trying to. Mainly the relationship between Anastasia and Christian. Mm-hmm. Because that's what the whole movie was about. There was...
Right. I mean, the whole movie is centered around their romance. Their romantic relationship.
Romance or lack thereof.
Well, I mean, that...
There is romance, though.
There definitely is. I think in a really stretched thin...
It was a romantic movie, but they tried to make it into more than that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's romantic, but we're not like any other couple. But a lot of things with the relationship, though, relates back to, of course, regular people, because that's why it's such a hit, parts of it is.
Do you think that they tried to tailor this movie towards regular people? I don't think. I
tailor this movie? Possibly, because that's how Hollywood is. Personally, I hated the movie. I didn't like it. But to be fair, I don't think that movie was made for me because I fall in the demographic. We're both males between 18 and 35.
Right.
Not for us at all.
No, definitely not. But
I see how women who are older would like it.
to a certain extent, I enjoyed some parts of the film. Some aspects, not parts, aspects of the film. For example, Grey's dark personality.
Okay.
That I liked a lot.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well-
Why do you like it?
Why do I like it? Oh, okay, I guess let's get some general things out of the way first. One, I hated the movie. I thought it was disgusting.
It was gross. It was icky.
It was completely disgusting. I mean, it's just utter repugnant trash. If they would have edited out some things, I think it would have been a very decent dark romantic film.
No way. Really?
Yes, there's a lot of things that I think were put in there because of, it's based off the book. And I'm sure if I would have read the book, I'm sure I would have liked the movie
I bet I would have enjoyed the movie more if I read the book.
more, exactly.
Because I would know the background of these characters. But if you get into the characters at first, they meet since the beginning of the movie. Right at the opening credits is them meeting. Anna is going to go and interview Christian. Mm-hmm. There was no build up to them meeting. They meet each other in the very first scene.
I do recall that during the first 10 minutes of that film, I kept thinking to myself, I am missing so much information. This movie is pretty fast-paced.
Fast-paced?
Well,
It is,
it's just like the
in a
way
way,
they
yes.
met, the way they kind of talked to each other at the beginning. It's almost like every line of their dialogue, there's like 2 or 3 paragraphs of like description in like the book, the context of the whole story.
100%.
So I missed a bunch of, so it was basically just like checkpoint, 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 but there's no in between. So that kind of was...
Even in the first scene when they're interviewing, when Anna's interviewing him, you could already tell that she's already super attracted to this guy. With him saying like no words, it's like, okay, he's a good-looking dude.
He's a billionaire.
He's a billionaire. He's rich. He follows the whole. He's Bruce Wayne, but more perverted. That's who he is.
That's kind of what I was saying. That darker side of him could have been used for something else. If that movie was going in a different direction.
Oh my god! Like everything you say just reminds me of how bad how many problems I had with the movie.
Oh, I mean, I had tons of issues with the movie, and my biggest issue is probably the meat of our conversation. So I'll save that towards later. But was definitely the sex scenes. I was very disturbed by the sex scenes, not aroused at all.
It wasn't sexy.
No, in no
I can
way.
see why.
And I actually felt very uncomfortable by the end of the film. As soon as the film ended, I was angry.
By the way, how long is this movie?
It's like 2 hours and 5 minutes.
It is so long.
It is huge, yeah.
And the only conflict that really happened in the movie happened in the last 5 minutes of the movie, which made me think that the movie would be longer, and then it ends really abruptly. But I'm jumping way ahead.
The last 10 minutes are definitely... I mean, you can kind of start to tell that they're heading towards a cliffhanger, but the way they do it is so, bam, last 5 minutes. All right, it's over. See you guys. And it's just like, what? That was it?
It was the silliest cliffhanger that I've ever seen in a movie. Honestly, when I came into watching this movie, I knew that a lot of people have watched it and made fun of it. All of the really obvious things that people will criticize about this movie is like, oh, what is this, porn for soccer moms? It's so not sexy. Is this what like people think is sexy? Blah, blah, blah. That's... A lot of people have said stuff like that, and I didn't want to go in thinking that. I want to have an open mind and be like, maybe, you know what? I want to be the guy that's watches this movie and likes it and gets something out of it.
I mean, I
really want to have an open mind.
Oh,
I couldn't do it, though. I tried. That's what I'm saying, is I tried. I didn't want to make those obvious jokes like, oh, I can't believe that this was their choice.
No, I too. I mean, I also thought, oh man, this is so not my genre. This is so not my cup of tea. But right as the movie started, I let down my guard. I stopped being funny. I stopped being an asshole, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna give this movie an honest shot. And it, in a certain way, by not reading the book, I don't have a perspective on it at all. I know nothing about it. And by getting away from the criticisms and all the other comments made by people who watched this movie and read the book or whatever, I really went in there without a single clue what was going on. So I actually think I got something out of this film, whether I liked it or not. I actually got a lot by watching this film as an experience of watching this type of film, and this film in particular, because I was so open to, well, let's see, surprise me, give me something to talk about, give me reasons to bring you up in a conversation later on. So I mean, I definitely got something out of it.
There's definitely a lot of stuff to talk about. Because the whole movie was so absurd, their relationship was really... Which you'd have to go into... Anastasia's character, how would you describe her? She's very reserved. She's your typical... I mean, she's an English lit major. English lit majors are notoriously not the biggest...
Flirts?
Not the biggest flirts, not the biggest partiers. Not the most outgoing is what I'm saying.
Anna, because that's how they... that's the nickname they give her in the movie. Anna's character, honestly, I thought could have been done a little better.
What do you think of the casting?
Okay. Well, I guess we can just go into casting.
Dakota Johnson. Okay, let's talk about it.
I thought the casting was all right. I thought it was pretty well done. I mean, they picked a good main actress. I thought she did
I wasn't mad at her.
Yeah,
I thought she did a good job. Yeah. I had problems with the screenplay. I thought Dakota Johnson was great.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Her face kind of bothered me, but she had like a cute body though, which we see a lot of.
Yeah, it's nothing but like, especially during the sex scenes, it's nothing but her body, and then you get to see his as well, but it's not. That's not the main. No. How do you say this? The center of the picture.
If the demographic is women also like seeing naked women also.
Well, I guess that's true.
In ways. Her body looks better on film than whatever the actor's name is. That guy, Christian's body. But Anastasia's character, it seems she's very easy to manipulate. Her outfit that she chooses to go in the interview in the very first scene says her whole character right there.
Oh yeah, and even her roommate brings up, that's what you're wearing? So, yeah, I can't be mad at her for playing her character the way she did. She did a good job. I just don't think that her character had a lot of depth. That's something I look for in anything I do, whether it's a book or a movie or any type of entertainment I indulge myself into. The number one thing I look for is depth.
How would you write Anna's character differently to give her depth?
I guess I didn't really think about that, but if I had
just to give an example of what you mean by that.
Oh, well, I would probably give her some sort of backstory as well. I mean, yeah, she has parents. She has parents. And
but that's it, though. She has parents that are split up.
And then that's it. There's no other depthness to her character. She's somewhat shallow, but it's not in a bad way. It's just, that's just how they wrote her character. There's not much about her.
But her character sexually is super inexperienced. And in the beginning of the movie, I'm like, what is she, a virgin? And they affirm later, yes, she is indeed a virgin.
Well, no, yeah, I mean, they could have given her like a darker past or something. I don't know. Something to go off of. That's something that makes me relate to the characters a lot better when they have some background. It's the background of a character that sometimes makes it or breaks it for me.
Yeah, Anastasia's character was very boring, which I think was supposed to help sort of, I don't want to say the word boring, but ordinary people relate to her. Like, oh, look at this normal person. She's just like me. And then she's thrust into these crazy circumstances where she gets to go on helicopter rides and plane rides with this billionaire, which, by the way, I want to do that plane riding thing. I think that looked awesome in the movie.
Oh, yeah, and, they clip it off.
Oh, that was so sick. It looks so dangerous.
Kind of like, oh, yeah, that was pretty fun.
We got to do that on another podcast.
Hey, we went and flew a plane around Oregon or whatever. Where were they at the time? They were in Oregon, weren't they? No, wait.
They were going there in Georgia.
They were in Georgia at that point, yeah.
Like it matters.
Oh, well,
she was in a state that people look over.
And even the things she asks for, and she asks Christian, she asks for very ordinary things. Okay, I guess we can say that the dialogue in the movie is extremely obvious to the point where that's what made me cringe. The use of the
kind
word
of obvious.
The use of the word fuck in that movie instead of adding anything to the movie, it angered me. They used it so, I don't know, it was just kind of
Haphazardly. They didn't think about it. They just used it.
Yeah. And
True.
and more than anything, it made me cringe.
It made me laugh. Okay, next was the club scene, which like further shows Anna's character. She's so vulnerable. She can't even hold her alcohol, which is like, oh, I get it. You can't even.
Oh yeah, what the hell was that? In my school, lit majors get, they turn up, man. What the hell was that?
Not her. She's so straight edge that she can't hold liquor. So she goes to the bathroom and then she calls up Christian Grey because she has his number, because he's already taken an interest in her.
But why did she call him and why did she tell him off? I'm not.
Because she was drunk. And because he is in her mind, right? But he does the weirdest thing after that
I'll interrupt you for a second. Are these actual thoughts that, we're talking about ordinary people have when they're drunk?
Possibly for girls.
What the?
Who knows what girls think? Girls can. I think a wise man once said, "Bitches be tripping." And I think that's what she was doing at the bar.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
And just when I thought that she was being very strange, Christian Grey does the weirdest thing. He goes, "Anna, are you drunk right now?" He's angry. He sounds like her dad. "Oh yeah, I drank a little bit, but you are crazy. You're drunk? I'm gonna come get you." And then he drives to the bar. What a lunatic. He didn't ask who's with you or any follow questions. Like, no, I'm gonna go over there and I'm bringing my scumbag brother with me. Then we're gonna go to this bar.
What the heck? His character comes in and out like two or three times.
Polar opposite of him.
Yeah. So okay, yeah.
just a beautiful looking surfer guy. They have some crazy genetics in their family.
True that.
But I get Christian's character. I guess women fantasize. He's, in shape. He's got a jawline that's strong as hell.
Are we talking about the physical,
shoulders for days?
The physical aspect of him?
Yes, I am. He's got hella suits, helicopter. He's a pilot, plays piano at a professional level. And yet, for some reason, I felt like watching it, I could kick this guy's ass. I didn't take him seriously that much.
I think at some points, I also enjoyed that aspect of him. The successful, rich, well-dressed, in-shape dude. I thought that was really neat.
I didn't think his cars were that nice.
Oh yeah, he had really ugly cars. Except when he brings out the Audi. I mean, I guess to a certain degree that car is really nice, but...
Which car is yours? All of them. No shit, it's all of them is his cars. Don't you know how rich he is? He's a billionaire.
Oh yeah, that too. Like, she keeps putting off the fact that he's, like, rich.
And she didn't even want to accept the gifts that he was giving her, like, the whole movie.
Oh, no.
Because they want to make Anna's character more likable, and they don't want people to dismiss her as, how could she be into this guy who has all these perversions? She must be a gold digger. So every time that she had a chance to be a gold digger, she had to be like, no, I don't want this. I don't want these beautiful first edition books. You're giving me a car that's probably worth $15,000, even though you're a billionaire. I can't accept this. Just accept it. It's cool. I accept the gift. It was pissing me off.
Some of the scenes, they could have gone a different way. And it's just the little things, too. I thought the scenes would play out really well, but just the way they would end the scenes would always be... There's always something awkward about them, or something left unfinished, or something where they kind of just scrambled on to finish at the last second. Like, for example, I think there's...
Yeah, give me an example.
Do you know the scene when they wake up and she's making pancakes or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
And then the way she says, well, I'm making pancakes. What the hell was that? I mean, that made me crack up for a good 15 minutes. I thought that was hilarious. But that's what I'm saying.
That's showing Anna's, like, cute side.
What? That was supposed to be cute? I mean, I thought that was hilarious.
It was supposed to be cute, I think.
Oh, God.
After she was just a sex monster the night before. Okay, talking about before that. Oh, man, we've been talking for a while about this already. But... Okay, so just the key parts, though, is... Okay, when she says, I'm a virgin, because he's trying to figure out what she's into sexually. That was after that he brought out that contract, which is, of course, the least sex. There's nothing less sexy than paperwork.
Oh, yeah.
So you're already, what's this guy's deal? And then she says, I've never been with anyone before. And then he says, well, let's go rectify that. Literally 2 seconds after she says I'm a virgin, he's like, I'm gonna fuck the shit out of this girl. And then they sleep together in his bed. Like, what?
Oh yeah,
So fast.
They sleep together a few times. He says, "I don't sleep with people," but then he keeps saying, "You're changing me." I mean, I get that, but
Blah, blah, you're changing me. But it's hard to believe because Anna's character, like you said, has little depth. Why is he's taken girls to his place. He's taken 15 of them to his place and had as what he reveals as essentially sex slaves. And then this plain girl who is a valedictorian flips his whole world upside down.
I mean,
I was trying to buy it, but I couldn't buy it. I couldn't afford it.
No,
afford it.
I think more than anything, I think it just bothered me how much they were trying to sell me that.
Yes.
How much they were trying to sell me, oh, it's her ordinary life, her regularness that's changing his insanity. That her ordinary self was changing the crazy in him. I think every attempt they made to do that, it angered me just a little more. And by the end of the movie, I was done.
And they really try to shove in your face how regular she is. It's like, what kind of things are you into, Anna? I don't know, books. I'm like, books? That was your answer? You have maybe the most interesting man ever talking to you, and you couldn't just make something up.
I mean, if this is actually how the book was written, I mean, of course, people...
I doubt it. I bet you the book was written a lot better. Because the book is a cult hit, and I don't think many people like this movie.
Yeah, but the thing is, I also would... I mean, if we're gonna go into, comments made by people who actually read the book, a lot of individuals did not like the writing style. They also said it was plain, too obvious, of bad taste. I can go into countless descriptions about how bad the writing was. There you go. I guess that's the easiest one. The writing was really, really, really bad.
Of this movie?
No, the book.
Of the book?
The book.
I don't know. I have to read the book.
Exactly. So I also have no idea. But if, the book was also this badly written, then
possibly.
They actually
I want to give the book the benefit of the doubt because I'd have to look at it myself.
They actually did an okay job with the movie. I mean, bravo to the directors and screenwriter and, people who worked on this film because, God.
Positive thing about the movie was I thought it was shot really well. As well as you could with that screenplay. Like Christian Grey's apartment looked super dope. I wanted to hang out there, his penthouse.
Do you know any of the details, budget and whatnot?
No, I was gonna, since I watched the movie like a few hours ago, I didn't have a chance to look up anything. So I'm just going off of, If I had more time to prep, I would have went on Wikipedia and read reviews, but I thought, screw that, I'm just going to talk about it in cold. So they start having sex, and then Anna is along for the ride. And so far, there is barely a movie. It's just one thing happening after the other. It's what's going to happen in this relationship. And you can already tell what's going to happen. You know she's going to end up in this guy's sex dungeon. Now let's talk about how creepy Christian Grey is. Okay, right? He's super cold and detached. He doesn't like relationships. He just likes to fuck. That's basically him.
All right.
He's the dark side of every guy.
That's what I was going to say. I was really into all of that except
when he said fuck.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the way in which they say it, they wrote it, whatever. It's just so off-putting.
Yeah, I felt gross. I felt like I needed to take a shower after watching it.
Yeah, I did not feel anything else but disgust. And that's what I was talking about earlier. His dark side. That was the one part of the movie that I actually enjoyed. The way he plays off this really dark, shady character. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a very genuine guy. He has some charity going on, like hunger or whatever.
That's just a business thing.
It's a business thing. Oh,
It's a business purpose.
Oh, there you go.
Well, that what he was trying to make. They were trying to write him as more cold and nonplussed about things. And he always kept saying pleasure. The word pleasure itself is...
The word pleasure, the word fuck.
Bothers me.
Some of these words are just... There's a right time to use them. And every time they use them...
The actual quote from the movie...
Not the right way.
The quote from the movie, after they went... First of all, he says, I'm not into romance. And then they go on this romantic helicopter ride across the city. And I think, oh, whoa, he's going off his word. Nope, he's taking her to his sex dungeon to go sign a contract because, hey, I don't want this. I don't want you talking about my sexual exploits, because he's like a reluctant pervert. He says a lot of things about pleasure, but it seems like he's tortured every time he has sex with somebody. Like he has to do it, like it's a drug.
I think all of these things that you're mentioning make a lot of sense in the universe of...
I forgot to say the quote. The quote was, like, the first thing she says when they get to his place, like, are you going to make love to me now? And he said, no, I only fuck hard. That's what he said.
See, like,
you remember that?
Yeah. This is so awkward. It's just so awkward. It made me cringe. Like, why am I watching this?
If I was Anna's character, I'd be like, oh shit, my bad. That's what I would have said at that moment.
I guess I should just go out and say it. I feel like if they would take the movie, cut out all the sex scenes, maybe not necessarily the complete sex scene.
It would be worse. I wouldn't like. The sex scenes weren't as bad as I thought they'd be.
Really? I thought they were terrible. I mean, okay.
They were.
In the context of sex scenes, they did a good job.
It was too sensual, and I didn't really. I couldn't get behind the. I don't like seeing that much male ass in a movie, like for my taste.
The sensuality level was fine for me. I just, once again...
That's what I didn't like about the sex scenes.
Knowing that he's... What do you call these people? Sadists? Dominants? What did he call himself?
There's a dominant and a submissive.
Whatever
that's part of his process.
I just having that thought in the back of my head, I couldn't sit and actually watch all the scene. I just couldn't do it.
Are you more traditional?
No,
You don't go for that funny business. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm.
That playroom should have had an Xbox in it. Not is that what you're saying?
No, I should have had a PlayStation. No, but it's not that I'm more traditional. It's just there's just something off about his whole torture universe thing he's got going on.
Yeah. And she would ask, why are you like this? And then he would say, it's who I am. And you watch it and go, okay, clearly Christian Grey is a sociopath. But I also look at it like, okay, let's say he is. That's what he wants. He's a young billionaire. He can find women who are freaks like that and are willing to play in a sex dungeon and then sleep in a separate room.
Maybe that...
what's so bad about that, really? Because at least he's being honest with who he is.
That's very true. Very true.
My theory for this movie was women gravitate towards 50 Shades of Grey, not necessarily because of all the sex that's there and all the kinky shit, but because it has to do with a really strong, powerful guy who's in control, yet he changes, and the motivation for that change to becoming a regular, traditional boyfriend is because he likes the girl so much. I think that's what girls kind of want deep down. I want to meet a guy who likes me so much that he's willing to change into what I want to make him to be so that I'm happy.
That's already way too damn complicated.
But you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're saying, and that's a great theory. I support that. I had no theory, so I'm adopting that.
That's how I felt. He keeps on trying to convince Anastasia to sign the contract. Come on, let's do a bunch of freaky sex shit. I need some written proof that this won't bite me in the ass. I want to spank you with some whips, okay? I want to do that. And she's like, I can't do that. Why are you always trying to change me? And then he says, right after that, you're trying to change me. You see, it's kind of one-sided right there. They're not a compatible couple.
Oh, at all.
They should break up.
I guess if I had to add something to that, that's basically how relationships go. I mean, generally speaking, relationships that aren't meant to be. You have one person subconsciously changing for this other individual. They don't realize that they're changing, but they're changing because they genuinely like this person and they want to change. But to us, at some point, whether it's because, once again, they're just truly not compatible or something big happens in the relationship, they stop trying. Now, the person who was maybe not at first saying, I'm going to change you.
Right.
Them noticing that this person who was once trying really hard all of a sudden just doesn't give a fuck anymore. I think that's like a red flag. That's like red flag right there. And then that's when you have discussions like that. Oh, you need to stop trying to change me, just to spark the idea that, hey, you're changing me. And then
They're both trying to change each other, which is not a healthy thing
no, not
to
at all.
do.
No, you can adopt certain things, and you can change certain things at free will while you're with somebody. But changing
Some change is good.
yeah, change is always good.
Yeah, a lot of change is positive. But when they're kicking and screaming during the change, you don't have to deal with that, especially when they're both so young. And Christian Grey every single girl in that movie thinks he's hot. I think he's alright.
And then that's one of the things that it's a movie. I mean, they have to go along with it. It's a novel. They have to go along with it. They are the main characters. I get that. But I definitely don't think that if you were to compare that relationship to yours, that's not healthy at all.
Anna and Christian's relationship.
Yeah, you should not go home and try to do that. Not the sexy kinky stuff. I mean, that's all.
I have no problem.
If that's what you guys are into, go ahead in your own private time, do that. But I'm
okay
saying
with
that when you go home, and take that idea of that kind of relationship, and if you find any similarities, fucking leave. That's a terrible relationship. That's an abusive relationship.
Yeah, physically and emotionally.
I was gonna say, forget the physicality of the relationship and how abusive that is. Just the way he's so distant from her, so detached from her, so I'm only here to fuck you.
Right.
And that can be both a girl and a boy. Wow, what are we, like 12? A man or a woman. Yeah, if at any point your partner does that kind of distance, then why are you in this relationship at all? I mean, they clearly don't want to be with you.
That's where the fantasy is that some women, I won't generalize to say all women, some women want their guy to want to change.
It really comes down to experience and interpretation and, what you're actually living.
But maybe there's something special. Maybe they are, in a weird way, soulmates.
I don't know what.
And they are meant to be. They are meant to be together.
Okay.
They're gonna end up together, and
that's what I'm saying. It's a novel. It's a movie. They have to end up together.
There will definitely be. Do you know how many movies there are gonna be in the series?
Okay, as far as I know, it's actually not just one book. There's multiple. I don't actually know the number. I think it's 3.
I think it's going to be like Lord of the Rings. I think we're going to have a trilogy.
Okay. As long as they don't have part 1, part 2, part 3, Hobbit, goddamn money raking shit, then okay, I'm in. But
no, I want to see the next movie, see what they do with it.
They'll
see what didn't work with this movie. Because
will they?
I hope so. The main issue I had with it, just looking at it as a movie, was lack of plot, because the objective in the movie was to, okay, what's going to go on with the relationship? That's not really a plot. That's just something you're interested in. And then is she going to agree to this contract and be the submissive? Is Anna going to be the submissive to Christian? And then it goes into, is she going to go to Georgia? Of course she's not going to go to Georgia. She's only going down there for a little bit. And then it becomes, why are you like this? It's so none of those 3 things that I just said constitutes
a plot?
A plot in a movie. It's barely a sitcom episode.
Yeah. A really long...
Much less a high-budget film.
Mm-hmm.
One that is 2 hours, over 2 hours long. There's a lot of just things happening after another.
Now that I think about it, I don't even see the point. I really don't see the point. There's probably a point in the novel. I mean, I'm sure the novel, just like any other novel, it starts, introduces the characters, character build up. There's some sort of, middle conflict going, and then climax, and then resolution. Cliffhanger, but resolves the primary issue in the first novel, let's say.
Yeah.
And usually when you make a film based on a novel of, sorts, you try to do the same thing. Harry Potter's Half-Blood Prince, yeah, they skip a bunch, but hey, they finish the scenes. They resolve the conflicts. They beginning, middle, end. What point did this movie have when conflict was introduced? You could feel a resolution.
There were None. It just seemed as if, oh, look, that resolved itself. Is she going to sign the contract? Next day she comes, they text a little bit. She comes and they have sushi and she's like, yeah, I'm good. Let's do it. She agreed to submit to everything that Christian wanted to do when she was graduating.
Did she? Is that what she says? Because I feel like she just kind of teases him and continues to walk her path. I don't think she actually agrees to anything.
I thought that was her agreeing because he was
agreeing.
like, "Are you?
I think she was just.
I want you to give it a try." And she's like, "All right." And he's like, "Well, really?"
Oh, I thought that was just like another example of ordinary individuals, just like, oh, teasing, just moving on kind of thing.
It hardly matters that there wasn't that much substance there.
No.
It was just leading up to. They can't make her character go, "Oh yeah, I'm down for anything," right off the get-go. But she is very impressionable.
I guess
she's super easy, by the way. But they try to make her out to be like, when Christian's like, "Oh, guys must throw themselves at you all the time," and then she's like, "Yeah, I was just waiting for the right one." Were you really?
Yeah. What? See, things like that. I think they made me stop and think about how a real relationship would go on, or the amount of questioning I did. I think that really just spoiled the movie for me. If you have me questioning way too much, you've lost my interest already.
The one scene that took me out of it, when I was trying really hard to get into it, was after he brings her home, after she was drunk in the club, and then he brings her to the hotel, and she wakes up like, this is fine. And then she takes, I'll just eat these pills and drink this in this strange hotel room. I'm okay with that. I'm like, are you nuts?
Eat me, drink me. Okay, can this not get any creepier? Are you just going to be okay with this?
Hey, if anyone's listening to this, don't wake up and eat pills next to you without questioning. Okay, it's next to an aspirin bottle. I could have just put that there.
And then go ahead and drink the orange juice right next to that.
And of course, he comes back and he looks like he just went running.
Of course.
What a badass. Mm-hmm. What made me laugh in that scene was how she was going, "Oh, did you undress me?" And then he's like, "Didn't have much choice. How about letting her sleep in her clothes?"
In her vomited clothes so that she learns a lesson.
Yeah, that's normal. And then he's always trying to feed her in the movie. Did you notice that?
Yeah, he is.
Eat this muffin. He makes her breakfast in bed. And he's like, "Eat this toast." And she's holding the toast. And then he takes off his shirt and then goes on the bed and then takes a bite of the toast while she's holding it.
I mean, I get the whole men provide for women thing, but jeez.
But I thought if the screenwriter thought that was sexy, I'm in for a long movie. That was what I thought at that moment.
Oh yeah,
I just have to have you. I was trying to write notes during the movie, but I realized I had written like a whole page worth of notes in the first 10 minutes. And I thought, I'm just going to watch this for what it is.
I think I did the same thing too. I took out a notepad, I started writing down notes, and by the time she's drunk, I'm like, oh, I should probably just pay attention because I don't even know what's going on.
I wrote down wine glass next to the MacBook Pro. Like, okay, bro, I get it. You're cool. Okay, that's... What else did I write down? Like he said, like, if you were with me, you wouldn't be able to walk for a week. He just said the most asshole things. Like, stuff like that just made me hate him.
Oh, yeah, I definitely did hate him by the end of the film. I definitely hated his character towards the end. Just to end notes for me here, if I had to change something of that film, I would leave the whole romance relationship thing going. I think that was okay. Would
you keep the playroom?
No, I would cut that out. I would cut out a lot of the sex scenes length. I don't think that kind of length was necessary, because I towards the end of the sex scenes I was like, okay, is this over yet? Like, I get it, they're doing it, like, moving on, come on.
Right. They hyped the playroom a lot, and the whole, whenever they were talking about it and he was trying to convince her, she would always say, "It's really intimidating. I don't know if I can do it." And he's like, "You're gonna love it." But I don't know. It's like, you're not going to war, okay? You're gonna go tie yourself up to something while he spanks you a little bit. It's not... I've seen worse things on the internet. I'm just gonna throw that out there. That was child's play to me. When it comes to like porn on the internet, I'm quite advanced. You know what I'm saying? So I was not shocked at all. I laughed when he had a peacock feather in there. Like,
I'm
that's
o-
what you use that for.
I'm old enough to know what Two Girls in One Cup is. So
In a lot of ways, that's what women want, is they want a billionaire chasing them around the country, showing them amazing things, and changing from strong, silent type and melting and becoming a boyfriend. Women like that, and that's why this movie was made. That's what I thought. I thought that was the point of the movie.
oh man,
And it's like, oh, little old me, you pick me out of all the girls you can have, you pick me. Like, that's the ultimate fantasy. And I think that's what 50 Shades of Grey was about to me,
yeah.
in my opinion.
That's a good way to sum it up. Take away the sex scenes and add some other sort of dark brewing plot in the back that obviously the cliffhanger would give more details about. That last part.
We didn't talk about the climax of the movie. That was the last thing we have to talk about.
What? Was there a damn climax?
Yes.
Where?
She was like,
I'm kidding.
Are you going to punish me? Yeah. It's like, why do you want to punish me? This bothered me, though. The end of the movie where he is like, you don't have to do this. And then she kept on insisting, no, I want to be punished. I want to understand you. I want to know what you're talking about. I want to see how
I thought that's what he wanted the whole time. Exactly.
But he knows how off-putting it is, and he knows Anastasia. He's like, you don't have to do this because I grew up. Oh, by the way, there was that tacked on, like his mom was a crack addict, whatever.
He's probably abused sexually left and right. Yeah.
To give, and he was seduced when he was 15, to kind of give some kind of, oh, this is why he's like this.
Yeah.
But he goes, okay, Anastasia, I'll play. Let's go to the playroom right now. And then he bends her over the table, and then I'm going to count to 6, okay, and whip you as hard as I fucking can. And you have to count with me, okay? And then he doesn't look like he's enjoying it, and yet he keeps
count. Does he count?
He counts. And she counts
Okay,
also.
I totally. I know she's counting, but I guess at this point,
He can count in his head. He's the dominant. He can do whatever he wants.
I got off my chair and I went to the bathroom.
At that part.
No, I'm kidding. But I definitely did get off my chair and I just kind of was like, I can't.
You zipped up your pants and got out of your chair.
No, once again, I think this was the number one scene that I was like, fuck this. I can't do this. Like, this it's just so disturbing.
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable to watch.
Really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it wasn't sexy. He didn't look like he was enjoying it.
If they were going...
Christian was not enjoying that shit. He felt really bad.
Yeah, exactly. If that was, the point of that scene, why?
The point of it was to push Anastasia over the edge to the point where she would want to leave him. That was the point of that scene. But she leaves the room without putting her clothes on, and then she goes back into her designated bedroom. She doesn't leave because because of course they have to have like a scene. They have to have a moment together.
Right, of course, when, leave me alone. I need to be alone right now.
But you're still in his house. That's what I didn't get. I thought it'd be funny after the whipping scene if she had an ice pack on her butt. They should have just put that in there. That would have made me give the movie a 5 out of 5 if she had an ice pack on her butt after that scene.
I probably would have raised my rating to a 2.5.
Bravo. and then it ends with a cliffhanger of them breaking up, and then nothing is resolved. So I think we spoiled the entire movie.
One last thing that I want to point out. When he's on the phone and then he's talking to somebody and something's going down, you don't really know at all what's going down. And once again, I have not read the series, I have not read the book, but as a person going into this with an open mind to this film, and then he goes, oh, he or she does not have 24 hours. He's having some sort of conflict on the phone. And then he just kind of hangs up because he notices or realizes that Anastasia's in the, his place.
Right.
Seeing all that adds on to his dark, unknown side. Yeah. That's what I liked. That was the only part that I thought was like, dude, I can identify with this. I like this.
Because you're mysterious?
No, because
How dare you say that about yourself?
I know, but I'm just saying that's cool. Like, I thought that was cool. And I thought that they could have played that off a lot better.
That he didn't like explaining things to her?
I guess.
Who were you talking to? Don't worry about it. Girls love that, by the way. If your girlfriend asks something, just say, doesn't concern you.
That's such a dick thing to say, but it makes you sound so cool.
It has to be authentic, which is what Christian's character was from the very beginning. He didn't ever lie or pretend to be anything to sleep with Anastasia or to be with her.
No.
He was always straightforward about things, and I thought that was... if anything, you have to admire that, even if he's into all the freaky stuff. You have to. He's being honest and upfront from the very beginning.
That's kind of cool. That's really cool. His honesty and his integrity to his character and to his personality, knowing who he is, I think that says a lot about his character. If this fictional character was a real person, I would respect that dude a lot. He's just laying out the rules just how they are. So if you go on and what, did she fall in love with him at the end? What the?
Yeah, she said that I think I've fallen in love with you right after he spanked that ass. I've fallen in love with you, and I have to leave. You will never touch me like that. She was unreasonable at the end. To be honest, you asked for it. You wanted to try something. You didn't say the safe word, which meant that you were okay to let it keep going. I thought Anastasia at the end was unfair to Christian. Now you're punishing him for doing what you asked for. Oh my god! I hate her.
It sounds like an everyday thing. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, dude. You go from hating him to having mixed feelings. She was slightly unfair to him in terms of, how honest he was with her.
He was honest from the very get-go. That's why that's why I was on his side for a lot of it. He should have stopped in the middle of the spanking when she was obviously not enjoying it. He should have been like, for a second, be like, well, you're liking this, right? Just for a second.
I'm like, spank number 2. He's like, okay, so we're still gonna go with this, right? We got 4 more left. Is this?
It's like your body's shaking. Doesn't look like you're enjoying it. You want me to keep going? You
sure? I mean,
yeah.
Oh, man.
All I'm saying is, like, ask your girl when you're doing weird sex stuff. Yeah. Just make sure that
conscious
she's okay.
Individual. Yeah. Not just sex stuff, but and every day. I mean, if you're gonna be that guy,
have a safe word.
No. Okay.
Red means stop.
But be a conscious individual. Be a conscious individual. I think that adds a lot of character to you, and if you both have mutual respect for each other, and you both just understand your limits and how far you're willing to go with a certain individual, and if you're not comfortable doing something, then that's the end of it. Don't pull an Anastasia and then blame him for everything, and don't pull a Christian and be a fucking sociopath and then feel bad afterwards.
But at least he's honest about being a sociopath. Don't hate him for being who he is, especially when he warned you beforehand. True, that was unfair to me.
I mean, come on, he pulled out a contract.
Yeah, he was very clear. Fuck the contract. What the? How long did you spend on this contract?
You created this.
It took her weeks to read it, first of all. So much absurdity about that movie. But if you could wrap everything up in a nice package,
okay,
for all the listeners, how would you?
Okay.
Wait, before we do, do you have any other thing to say, or forever hold your peace?
No, I think I'm good. I think I said everything I had to say.
There's too much to talk about in the movie. The sex scenes they speak for themselves.
If you had to give this a rating, out of a scale, what's the scale gonna be? 10 or 5?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Well,
but let's say out of 5 stars.
The film itself, I'd probably give individual ratings and have all the individual ratings average out to an actual rating. Because I think that the movie you can
I'm asking about you're making what would you give it out of 5 stars question really complicated.
Well, I mean, I'm saying that once I say this number,
give a number between 1 and 5.
Okay,
you have to do it.
I just want
you're not allowed
to be very clear that when I give this number, I'm not just giving a number like that.
I'm looking at my notes to see if I had
2 out of 5.
I was trying to write notes. 2 out of 5. That's your final rating?
Yeah.
Okay. For a guy like me watching it, which I don't think I'm the target demographic at all for this movie, I give it a 2, and I'd want to know what I should talk to some of my female friends and see what they thought of the movie. Maybe they would give it a higher score. Women who are over 40 that don't know how to access internet porn. That's who I would...
Oh, that's who you would tailor the movie to.
I would say that this movie does really good in that market.
Okay, I thought you were saying that that's the type of person that I am and the people that...
No. If you are able to download this podcast and listen to it, you probably are not into 50 Shades of Grey. I'm throwing that out there. I'm going to generalize and put myself on the line out there.
And you're probably able to find way better porn than that shit.
There's better porn on the internet.
Mm-hmm. if there's ever a comment section, please leave us your comments. And
let us know. Tweet us about it. That's 50 Shades of Grey,
bam.
as told by Francisco Espino.
And Adro go.
All right. Take care.
See you guys.
Mwah.